y'all, welcome back to Krista's Kitchen. Today we're going to make a 5-bean soup. So the weather is starting to get cold here in Louisiana, and with it being COVID season, we know that we're reverting back to our vegetables and all of our pantry stock items and kind of trying to use those up and refresh them for the winter season. So I'm going to show y'all how we just use some easy pantry items and turn it into a really quick, simple, and delicious meal. And it'll warm us all up and it'll help curb those cravings. So we're going to join you at the stove and show you how we do it. Okay y'all, so as per our usual, we have a little bit of olive oil heating up in the bottom of our pan. To this we're going to add 1 chopped bell pepper, 1 medium chopped onion, we're going to stir that all around. So we're going to let those cook and soften for about 5 minutes. And then we're going to come back and add in our meat. We'll see y'all back in 5 minutes. Okay y'all, so our vegetables are looking nice and softened. We're going to add in a pound of ground sausage at this point. And I'm just using the Jimmy Dean's original sausage. And any kind of ground pork sausage will work for this. It's still a little bit frozen. So we're going to pull it off. And get this cooking around in our pan. Okay, y'all. Once this ground meat gets just a little bit of color on it, I like to move it out to the sides, and this is when we're going to add in our a ½ pound to a pound of smoked sausage, because I want to use this center part to get a little sear on some of the edges, just to give a different layer of taste, and this meat and everything on the outside is going to continue to cook. So we have our smoked sausage links that we just sliced up, and I'm going to lay them face down because I want them to get a little sear on the side. And you can use any type of smoked sausage that you like. You just need between a ½ pound and a pound. We're going to let those sit for just a minute and get some color on them, and then we're going to add a few more pieces. Okay, y'all. So we're going to move this little section of smoked sausage out to the side, stir everything around. so that we're getting all the meat and everything recombined. And we're going to put our last little bit of sausage in here, let it sear for just a minute, and then we'll mix in the rest of our ingredients. Like I said, very simple, and you could take the meat out and do this all in separate steps. Again, I just hate doing dishes, so I let it cook and space it out to the side and kind of do it all in the same pot. So we're going to put our next few pieces in and let them cook. Alright y'all, so we're getting all those flavors mixed around. Now at this point our meat is not fully cooked, and that's okay because we're going to be cooking this and letting it simmer for a little while longer, and all that meat's going to get cooked. But this first step, we just wanted to create those texture differences with getting a little sear on parts of that meat. So just getting this all mixed around, we're going to add our seasoning in now. So very light seasoning because we're letting the vegetables and the meat really do most of the seasoning for us. So the first thing we're going to add is about a tablespoon of Tony's or your favorite Creole seasoning. And then we're going to add a tablespoon of some garlic powder. Now if you have fresh garlic or minced garlic, you could do that in here as well. But I'm just using a little bit of garlic powder because that's my standard. We're kind of doing a pantry basics, as this says. I'm doing something to use of our pantry items. Let's get our seasoning mixed around. And you want to make sure if you have any big chunks of this sausage, you're breaking them up now before we add in our beans into our soup. You can have the large chunks of smoked sausage. And I forgot to say, so we did about a 1/2 inch slice on those smoked sausage pieces. And just kind of semi-bite-sized pieces. They don't have to be perfect, and they don't have to be all perfectly cut together the same size. It does help it cooked better if they're about the same size. Alright, looks good. So now we're going to start adding in our beans. So one of the first things we're going to add for seasoning though is a can of Rotel. Again, I like the mild or original, that way it's not too spicy for my kiddos. Then we're going to add in a can of pinto beans, juices and all. A can of navy beans. Now, if you don't have some of these, there are some acceptable substitutes. A can of ranch style beans. Now this is one that I would recommend if you don't have the ranch style, then to get it, because it has a lot of those extra spices and things as well. If you don't have like a navy bean, you could always use like you could substitute it with a can of Great Northern, which we're going to use a can of Great Northern in here. But just think about your navy bean is going to be like a softer, more mild flavor bean. So kind of between like a pinto bean and a Great Northern. So we got our ranch style beans in. We're going to do our Great Northern. And then our last ones are a can of kidney beans. Again, we're putting in juices and all. Alright, now we're going to get 2 cans of water to add to this. Alright, so we're going to top it off with 2 cans of water. Going to mix this all around. Now we have it on a medium heat. We're going to let it kind of sit there. We'll let it simmer. And then once it starts to kind of, well, we're going to let it come to a boil. And then once it comes to a boil, we're going to turn it down and let it simmer for about 30 to 45 minutes to get all of those flavors around. And then at that point, we'll taste test it and see if we need to add any more seasoning or if we need to thicken it up or anything like that. But usually it thickens itself and it's a pretty hearty soup as it is. But we're going to bring it to a boil and then we'll turn it down to a simmer. Okay, y'all, so our soup is all done. We made some rice and our Ninja Foodie to go along with it, and this is what we have. Now, a lot of flavor, and we get it all mostly from the ingredients that we put in. You don't have to add in a lot of extra salt and a lot of different seasonings. You let your food do that for you. So this is what we have. We're going to taste test and see how it came out this time. As you can see, it's still very hot. Very good and very hearty. So this is going to fill us up really well. And it uses very cheap pantry staples. So I don't know, I'm ready for the soups and I'm ready for this cold weather to finally get here. It's been staying hot and we just got that rush of cold air all at once. So I'm so thankful to be moving into soup weather. But hopefully you give this a try and let us know if you have any questions. Thank y'all for joining us and we'll see you next time. Bye.